And oh boy. Ah, back again. Yeah, my goodness. My goodness. Oh, my Lord. I figure I might as well say fucking return to the real stuff for a little bit. I'm not really too surprised, but, you know, at least, you know, when it came to the follow-up, I was hoping for tonight. Not as much as I was hoping. But it's at least an understandable situation, but I'm still just like, God damn it, what the fuck? It's like, boo. Boo. But, hey, at least I still got some connections, and at least there was a confirmation that I think he, you know, the boss at least saw that, so just considering, you know, his line of work that he was doing tonight, didn't think that was going to happen, but, you know, hey, at least something came from that, albeit not much, but at least something. More than I could have expected on any other day, that's for sure. Definitely want to at least kind of figure out a bud situation. That's kind of like my main thing I'm thinking about, at least when it comes to like what do I need to like stock up on until I follow up this job shit. So that's pretty much my own little thing there. But beyond that, not really too worried about things now at this point. Just a little annoying when it comes to having to, you know, deal with some shit. Certain shit. But at least hey, it's something. Ah, there it is. Sacked one more after the bar. Got my pool game going in, and luckily, I actually did pretty well for myself. You know, just kind of practicing and just kind of shooting around. So that ended up being pretty good. So at least there was that. There we go. Go, sweet, sweet. Here we go. All right, bud. Last long can do me some justice. Yeah, get this nice to a fine little pastille, fine grinds. Boom. That's pretty good. Excelente, excelente. All right. Whatever's left in there, I can pick out over time. We'll say I'm still a little like kind of what the fuck from, you know, a little bit earlier tonight, just because I was hoping that the boss man was not doing like a cooking line, you know, kind of thing or whatever. But I guess I should have specified if the bartender I was working earlier this afternoon to be like, is he actually like on boss status with that, or is he working like the line cook because there isn't one today or something? You know, is there like a preferable time for me to at least be like, you know, hey, what's up, or some shit? But nope. Definitely annoying, but whatever. You know, what are you gonna do? I'm not even really gonna complain about it too much. At least, you know, from my understanding, he does have that kind of information out there. So at least there is something with that. At least it's something. I'll just have to like, you know, let him know, like, you know, next time he's there, just like, hey, you know, have him like call me or text me, at least to let me know that he's got it. So maybe we can have follow up or something. Hopefully. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, but, you know, how much you can do about it right now. So I just gotta sit, wait, at least for a couple days. But at least, you know, I got, you know, a few other things I could deal with, you know, for tomorrow and, you know, all that shit. Especially at least before Friday. So, still not totally hopeless, but it's just like, God damn it. Why can't things just go smoothly? That's all I want. It's just things to go smoothly. It's like, goddamn, come on. It's kind of the, state of affairs of it. Nothing could just be done smoothly. Boo. It's bullshit. Tell you what. God damn it, Bobby. I tell you what, that's a bunch of bullshit. To the point where I might have to kick your ass. To be fair, I'd actually be scared shitless if, Ken Kill wanted to kick my ass, because that motherfucker can literally, rip apart, a NASCAR race car fucking, chain link fence that's meant to, withstand car crashes, break through that with his sheer force of will, just on the virtue of wanting to kick your ass. So, I want to fuck with Hank Hill. Hank Hill is the guy that has, some straight-up fuck you strength that will murk a bitch. Rivals fucking Thor, if anything. There's been a couple episodes, out there on King Hill where it really truly shows Hank's strength, and it's like, oh fuck. Probably don't want to fuck with that guy. Here we go. Here we go. Nice. Ah, nice. At least today was definitely a good day all in all, regardless. I'm just hoping that boss man at the pub that I was at earlier actually kind of follows up a little bit. And actually has, a day to be boss man, so, we can chat it up a little. One of these days I need to, maybe, find Brenda too a little bit, because I know he works over there, to be like, hey, want to, kind of put the word in? If you happen to see him, be like, hey, I got a buddy, put his app in. If you got time, just take a look at it. Check it out. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Hopefully not for long, though. Because I know at least with one spots that I looked at, they're not open right now. So hopefully I can at least get something. Especially, at the pub that I want to go to. Because honestly, I've been kind of trying to shoot for that at this point. Just because I already know for a fact I need people. It's, especially if the boss is doing line cook stuff, it's like, that's why I'm applying. I even told the bartender, it's like, that's the main reason why I'm applying, because obviously the boss man's doing a lot of line cook shit. He needs line cooks. I'm your guy. I'm an extra hand with that. Talking to lethargic C's MC. Not for me. It was a good day today. Got some progress done today when it comes to shit for shit. Shit's hitting the fans is waking. Shit's hitting fans is waking my ass up. Damn. What, long day yesterday? Oh, fart. Little toot. And then it silently went out. It's probably going to be a silent but deadly one. But today I got some apps in and, got some at least follow-ups of a few places. And, I guess not really as much progress I would hope, but at least there's progress nonetheless. I've just been lethargic the last 2 days for no reason. Probably just your body's telling you, hey, I need to recoup. Quit, doing stuff. Chill for a bit. Because I was kind of like that the last few days myself, too. I was kind of tempted to go to Rogue with you guys, when I saw that was going on in the group chat, but I was like, just with my money situation. Plus, I need to make sure my dog's fed, all that stuff. I just, like, got some money whipped up to figure that shit out, and then just, got my doggo fed and just kind of hung out here. Two major decisions in the last hour. I'm gonna need my break early. Oh shit, really? Damn. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're working tonight. It is Wednesday. Hopefully, at least, like I said, for myself, I can kind of get back in that work on again. It's just that the boss for the Wichita pub is straight up like, either doing line cook stuff or is not there. So it's really hard to actually get him, when he's in like boss man mode to actually like kind of talk to him. Because the few times I have been there where he actually is there, that's been the case. And tonight was the same way. I was like, at least now I have my app in and it's in his office now for sure. I asked about one of the bartenders about that. And they're like, yeah, I think I saw an app in there. Was it like a Safeway one or something? I'm like, yep. So they at least know I have it there now for sure. And it's in the office, but I'm just like, come on, couldn't you at least snag it and like, look at it or something, or at least know that he is? Well, it's just one of those things, but what are you gonna do? I think the political BS is getting to me also. I'm just tired, especially all the myopic people, the white moderates that MLK warned us about. They'd rather bootlick the fascists and fight for change. Oh, dude, tell me about it. Especially given my current predicament when it comes to my work, shit. Dude, I've gone pretty fucking radical now, at least when it comes to shit. Like, I mean, I'm at a point where it's like we need some serious, like, massive, like, which is not even trying to, like, say for the meme, but legit revolutionary change, like, straight up. And I think, especially in this following year, the next 4 years, it's going to happen. I just don't know what it's going to look like when it does. Because even, like, conservative-minded people are going to, like, be at a point where, like, this shit bullshit, and realize that, Trump just basically played him like a fucking fiddle. And a lot of them are already starting to feel that, too, before he even got elected, or, inaugurated, I guess. Elected. But, it's just one of those things where, in time, I think, they're going to start reaping the seeds that they sowed. But, I mean, it's just a problem with liberalism, especially, like, white neoliberal establishment capital, like, centrism and shit like that. Like, I mean, that's ultimately the fundamental problem. Like, between, like, the housing crisis, not just in America, but in Canada, and they're literally are just blaming migrants, even though these are a bunch of, like, white privileged fucks that, can't afford that housing and shit, but that's because of completely different issues. But they rather blame the brown people that just showed up, basically. Same thing over here, but for different reasons. I mean, it's fucking stupid. And also, like, a lot of that, systemic problems are even with the wildfires in fucking Los Angeles right now. Like, that's, there's literally, like, I mean, as much as it sounds woke and, like, weird woke bullshit, like, it's true. Like, systemic racism played a role as to why the fucking wildfires are the way they are in LA right now. Because, like, the systemic, racism of policing, especially with the LAPD, getting a fucking slush fund and gutting the fire department immensely, is what led to a lot of these problems. Like, it's literally at 0% containment. It's just run amok, and there's no real way to control it because they've been defunded, and now they don't have the proper funding to really properly fight it. And even then, the Santa Ana winds are so fucking strong to the point that they can't even safely get aircraft in the air to combat it that way. So people on the ground are just fucked in on their own, and they can't contain anything. It's fucking insane, dude. Like, what's going on with LA is literally probably the worst disaster in LA history thus far. Like, straight up. It's literally already called that, and it hasn't even stopped. It's just ramping up. I mean, there was even people flying into LA that took pictures of some of the wildfires from the air, and it's just like, holy fuck. It's like, that is insane. I mean, like, it's one thing to, like, maybe sometimes, like, if you're, like, cruising altitude and you see, like, some smoke from, like, a little hillside from a small little fire, because I've seen that before. But to, like, come in and you just see swaths of neighborhood just engulfed in fucking flames, it's like, that's straight up, like, some apocalyptic shit. It's already been confirmed dead, too. It's only a matter of time until we see the full fucking death toll, because there's a lot of people, that are not accounted for that chances are probably died in this fire because there wasn't enough time for them to evacuate. Did LA have a big earthquake in the 20th century? Yep. And also, San Francisco had a massive earthquake that basically also started a massive wildfire in San Francisco that basically burnt half of that city to the ground too in the late 1800s. The Great San Francisco Fire. Like, so it's, it's not exactly like strange history to California, but the fact that it can't be quelled or contained or any of that type of shit really speaks volumes to what's going on over there, especially considering, where a lot of this money and all this other shit's, going to as well. Because it's heavily investing into the fucking fire departments. They'd rather, enforce the systemic, racist and the criminal fucking organizations that is the LAPD and fucking continue to give them slush funds because they're a fucking literal mafia, to California. LAPD is literally just a mafia racket, just fucking, extorting the taxpayers of California, specifically LA and LA County. So fuck them. I mean, they ought to be abolished and replaced with different, police departments for specific little areas or some shit. That Tool song comes to mind, since the victims of disproportionately rich people for once. Yeah. I mean, that is true, but there's also a lot of people that are being impacted by this that aren't rich either. I mean, and honestly, hopefully, at least some of those people, had a real fat fucking reality check, in their face. Hopefully. Same people who supported the LAPD slush fund. Well, yeah. Hopefully, like I said, some of them get a reality check and realize that maybe, supporting things like that is, counterintuitive and very deadly and destructive even to their neighborhoods directly. But I doubt it. Well, at least there will be a handful, I assume. Honestly, I'm wondering what started the fire, too. Has there been, origins as to what started it? Because if it's in, suburbia and shit, it had to be, maybe something in the foothills and just caught wind and just went down into the neighborhoods and shit. Obviously, there had to been, something that started it. Because I sort of feel like if it's literally just, there are multiple fires, well, I know. So multiple, multiple causes. Well, I know that, I think it started with one and then it just spread from there. I think multiple fires are because a lot of these embers and shit, spread around everywhere. And because the area is so hot and dry right now, despite it supposedly it should be a wet season over there, it's dry and hot. So a lot of these embers carried even for a couple miles and started other fires. It's 3 separate fires. All right. Well, so at least 3 different causes potentially as to how that shit started. Still, I mean, it's fucking insane. That was kind of my fear in 2020 because I remember the fires that happened in Oregon. Oregon City had to, at least, lots of different swabs, at least southern Oregon City had to evacuate. And, I was in the yellow zone of potentially maybe or maybe not evacuate. Just be in the ready in case you have to kind of zone. I mean, it's that shit's coming way too much of a reality. And if there's anything that really freaks me the fuck out, it's shit like that, really. It's the wildfires that honestly are the most spookiest. I can handle massive storms and all other shit, but that... You think it might ever move to Green Line if it becomes U.S. territory? Well, one, it won't be U.S. territory. It's literally a semi-autonomous state in a territory of Denmark. Denmark is not giving that up. And also, Greenland is a semi-autonomous state. It's technically its own, autonomous, nation, but it's under, the governorship of Denmark, of the broader kingdom of Denmark. And that's just not happening. The U.S. and Denmark are allies, at least on paper, so it's just not going to happen. Same with the idea of Canada being the 51st state. I mean, like, because ultimately it won't just go for like Danish Parliament or U.S. Congress. It would also have to go for Greenlanders, government as well, and that would, you know, that would be kind of something that would play a major role where all three different governments have to come together in agreement, and 2 out of 3 sure shit ain't agreeing to it. Greenland's wanted independence for a long time. Yeah, like the Greenlanders want an independent state because they don't want to necessarily be tied to Denmark, anymore. Because in a way they do rely on Denmark, but they can make just as much money having imports and exports and shit like that as well. Because they have different things that they export and support themselves in. Because of their small population, they don't really need a fuckload of things, just enough for the nation to get by, and they already are, but. In a way, at least a lot of Greenlanders who advocate for independence argue that they would have more autonomy to be able to have, more of a say in like the global market, so to speak, to be able to like do trade and shit. Because in a way, their import export, kind of stuff is tied to Denmark and ultimately their say. So they don't want that. They want to actually have their own say on things, which is fair enough to me. I mean, a lot of people already kind of see Greenland as its own independent state. I mean, I kind of do. I mean, same with like the Faroe Islands. Like the Faroe Islands are also a part of the broader kingdom of Denmark, but they're also their own semi-autonomous state, and they also can basically self-sustain as a sovereign nation without being a part of Denmark, and be just fine. Just like Greenland could. It sure would be great to have Greenland. I mean, there's nothing really of value with Greenland outside of maybe some natural resources, but the Greenlanders are very adamant about preserving Greenland, basically. Like, I mean, they don't want people just drilling on their fucking land and shit like that, and they're not really going to be too pleased about any of that. That's part of the reason why they want to kind of separate from Denmark as well, because they kind of have similar ideas about taking from the natural resources they have. Plus glacial water, because of all the glaciers there too. So, free accessible water you can bottle up and sell. I mean, there's different reasons why the Danes, still have Greenland, but most of it's literally just kind of taking use of the land without really the Greenlanders taking that much advantage out of it. I mean, a lot of it just really seems like, an attempt to try to like expand the American empire into like a bigger nation, to like the United North American States or some shit. But it's just not going to happen. Like, I mean, it's all just, jingoistic, expansionistic imperialism. That's really just ultimately what it is. And it ain't going to come out from anything. The one I do think, might come from something is the whole thing with Panama. Because Trump is like kind of adamant about like retaking the Panama Canal. And but I think a lot of that is getting brought up because Carter recently passed away, and of course, the Panama Canal was returned to Panama, from Carter's administration. So I'm assuming that's probably why has been bringing that up. But that's actually something that I know in the past has been mentioned by Republicans overall as well. So I have a feeling that that might genuinely be like a possibility. Or like invading Mexico too, maybe. Don't need to own Greenland, but a deeper cooperation. Well, I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, like if the Greenlanders and if the Inuit peoples and shit. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. Also, I mean, like actually having more of like maybe like a regional like continental like kind of government, like kind of like what Rip's saying, like an EU style system. Where like Central American nations, Mexico, Canada, Greenland, maybe squeeze Iceland in there a little bit. Why not? I mean, part of their island is in North America continental plate technically, so I'm okay with opening that. I mean, might as well. I mean, because like we already have deep cooperation and like different trade deals and stuff like that with these nations. You might as well just like have like a broader like 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 kind of multinational like Congress of a sorts, something similar to the EU, to where it's like, we all can broadly, have like some different things that we all are, doing for each other for the benefit of each other. Because hypothetically, things like NAFTA and shit are kind of meant to be like that, mostly for corporations, but not for the average people. But I mean, in theory, that's what they're kind of meant to be, so to speak. So why not just actually do that? Panama has a competition. There's some country building a canal. Yeah, I know about that. I forgot which country is doing it, but yeah, there's like, another one that's doing that as well. And at least from what I understand, why Trump wants to kind of like retake Panama Canal and stuff is because like supposedly we pay more than any country that sends their ships through there, which I think is bullshit. Like I doubt that. I'm assuming there's probably like some basic contractual agreement that the companies, the shipping companies have with the Panamanian government, but like, I mean, ultimately, it's like I doubt like the U.S. itself is getting fucked for it. Yeah, it sounds like some bullshit. Except to raise, except it'll decimate global trade. You realize that Panama would destroy the canal before allowing an enemy to seize it. Oh yeah. Oh, it absolutely would decimate global trade. Do you think Trump and the Republicans give a fuck, considering how warmongering and imperialistic they are, though? No. Kind of believe we pay more for a whole lot of things. Oh yeah. Like we, as a nation, we pay more into like the military-industrial complex or privatized healthcare, things that don't go into the benefit of the average person, and a lot of that is just because we're getting like fisted through a barrel basically when it comes to shit like this. It's not necessarily because like of different factors of like other countries or migrants or whatever. It's corporate CEOs and shareholders and executives that buy and own our government that cause these problems. It would cause them to lose huge 2026 when inflation causes prices like skyrocket. Exactly, yeah. I mean, and if the Republicans want to genuinely try to push some shit like that, it's literally like, fuck around and find out. And ultimately, they're going to be the ones to blame, because who's doing all the invasion and shit like that? The United States. Who's running the United States when that happens? The Republicans. Who's the head of that? Trump. So who's ultimately going to be blamed for that? Yeah, I mean, you're going to get your jingoistic fucking weirdos that are going to be like, yeah, fuck them. How dare they do that because they don't know what's rightfully theirs or not. Or whatever, but ultimately, it's going to just fundamentally look bad. Period. But Republicans don't seem to care about strategy or anything like that. Of course they don't. They just want the means. Whatever the means are, they'll do whatever it takes. Like get the end of it. To me, like whatever, how they get to the end, whatever means they use doesn't really matter. They just want like results. Then they don't care about the consequences how they get it. And a lot of that involves making a lot of fuck you money. And if those ends require a lot of fuck you money and shit, then that also means that, they got to find a way to make a profit off of it. And what better way to make a lot of money than going to war? Because Republicans love doing that. Also, assistance countries all over the world weren't we the leading country in foreign aid? I think so. I don't necessarily mind that as much, but it depends on what that aid is and like how and like where that is going specifically. Like humanitarian and like infrastructural aid and stuff like that, I'm okay with, but like military aid, I'm a lot more like reserved about and kind of skeptical about. They're donors who lose money if they invade Panama. Yeah. Do Republicans realize that? No. Especially Bezos, the Amazon will be hit really big. Well, what about the military-industrial complex? Because if they make a lot of money, like, Lockheed Martin, Boeing and shit, they'd probably make some money. Smith & Wesson, Armalite, like, there would be some companies that would make money, but not a lot. Have our own people in need. Oh yeah, I mean, I want to prioritize, like actually building back our country and making it more sustainable and comfortable for the people here first, obviously. But considering how wealthy the United States is, despite its misappropriation of the funds and where those ought to be going, we can, take care of ourselves here at home and then some. I mean, it's just one of those things where, like, we need to kind of fix shit here specifically more so than, like, put a lot of that out, towards other nations, especially ones that really, frankly, don't deserve it, like fucking Israel. We just recently gave $8 billion to their fucking terrorist state asses, and, it's like, but yeah, when we ain't getting $8 billion and shit, we don't get to see any of that. If anything from the country isn't necessary for that. Yeah, sure. Though they'll just make money because they'll be able to produce more military equipment and shit like that. Because obviously, when you put military equipment to use, sometimes it gets damaged, broken, destroyed, whatever, and you need, or maintenance is needed, and you need some parts and shit like that. But we never do. Trump is Castro. If in America First instead of doing anything to help Americans, he's threatening 5 countries this war, including 4 that we're allies with. It just kind of seems like he just wants to collapse the country more so than anything else at this point. It doesn't really seem like there's any goal in mind outside of, like, bankrupt the country and run away with the money bags. Basically a Herbert Hoover, but worse. I really think Trump is a troll, to be honest. I mean, I kind of agree to that, but it means a lot more when that troll happens to also be running the nation that is leading the free world, so to speak. I mean, when he got that implied, it's a lot more different than just a troll, unfortunately. It's not really acceptable for someone that is powerful to threaten literal allies. Yeah. It's one thing to maybe strong on them to make sure that, they, agree to a certain thing, because there's nothing, I mean, that's just kind of like politics 101 sometimes. But it's one thing to, like, threaten them if you don't, get your way is a whole nother ballgame. Especially because they'll just utterly destroy, national relations with the United States, because who wants to do any business diplomacy or deals with the U.S. when we're basically willing to, like, threaten our own allies? No one's going to want to work with us at that point. Trust me, held accountable for this shit. Well, knowing our establishment and knowing even media, that ain't happening. Like, media is literally bending over backwards to basically, placate and just kowtow towards his ass now at this rate. They're like, oh, okay, well, Daddy Trump's president now. And if anything, they love that because, and I knew this for a fucking fact, media was, wanted Trump to win to an extent because they get to make a lot of fucking money reporting on him day in, day out, like they did the last time. And now they're basically just playing along to get along with him and his administration before he's even fucking inaugurated. I mean, we're pretty much already at the point where he might as well be inaugurated at this point. It's like less than 2 weeks now at this rate, so it's like, goodness gracious. All the Eastern campaigns are real. Party of peace immediately pivoting to threatening war. 5 countries before Trump is even officially in office. Where the fuck is Gabbard calling for this shit out? Corporate grifter. She was always kind of for military, interventionism. Like, she always would mention, like, oh, I'm for, like, limited, excursions and shit like that. She never really was anti-war. She claims that she was, but she never was. People worry about him and the nuclear, that nothing is ever happened. As a matter of fact, we slowly pull out against it, but he even made him join in at the DMC. Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, that is true, but I mean, that was a different Trump at that point. Now we have him who's a former convict. Well, I guess, officially one now. And you had all these things going. Like, it's a little bit, different to an extent, but I mean, at this rate, I mean, like, there's definitely, different factors where I'm like, it's going to be same shit, different day. But there's definitely other elements where I'm like, if it keeps being persistent, I think definitely there would be some radical changes that are just going to be ultimately very fucking negative. It already is going to be, but even more so than now. Kimmy was all for show. Trump immediately pivoted afterwards to do nothing to try to end the Korean War. Yeah. In fact, if anything, if I remember correctly, during that whole situation, like Moon Jae-in at the time was actually, kind of doing a lot more work behind the scenes with Kim Jong-un. But then Trump decided to just kind of fuck it off, and they kind of started having tensions again. Like, if it kept persistent, I think they actually probably would have been all right with each other a little bit, because Moon Jae-in was actually kind of trying to push for the idea of at least having some armistice or something. It was the first time a South Korean president went to the whatchamacallit, the DMZ, and crossed the DMZ zone and shit, just on the virtue of trying to at least do diplomatic push towards at least some sense of armistice or peace, but didn't really end up being that. And then when Biden actually ended the Afghan war, Trump conveniently flipped on it to be for the war. Yeah. Despite it being his plan all along. I think Trump literally did that because Trump didn't like the leftist Moon Jae-in. Even though that guy wasn't a leftist, he was conservative. And frankly, Korea's got a really bad problem when it comes to their government and when it comes to kind of right-wing culture shit. There is a lot of fucking issues going on there. Was trying to one-up Moon and didn't follow through, and he got that photo up. Oh yeah. But like I said, because Moon Jae-in was doing a lot of the work behind the scenes, and then Trump decided to take the photo op, but Moon Jae-in actually was kind of okay with it. There was even, I remember him commenting about it, being like, what's your thoughts about Trump kind of taking the limelight? And he was like, I like it, because that leaves me to actually work, with some diplomacy stuff and not have to really worry about limelight shit myself. I could be there a little bit, but it leaves me to actually kind of work shit out. He was basically saying that in a nutshell. So I was like, all right, I mean, I can actually see the rationale for that. Let Trump take his limelight and all that bullshit, because media's going to focus on him. Step back for a little bit, at least on that front, and focus on the real serious shit that actually matters. That makes sense. He actually had a reason why he kind of stepped, didn't really step into the limelight despite, Trump doing that, because he actually thought of it as beneficial, and in a way, kind of was. At least, for when it lasted. January 20th, right? You think it happened to prevent this? No. There was a tiny little protest at the Capitol by 100 libs basically on Jan 6, and then there was also MAGA chaz yes, we remember this day. Yeah, did the same thing, but there was nothing that came from it. So yeah, it's 4 years of that motherfucker. I was supposed to have a heart attack and croak. But then we get JD Vance. So definitely one of those things where it's I don't know. Pick and choose your poison on that. Just have to smoke more, right? Yeah, pretty much. Buy more weed. But hey, at least weed stayed consistent in prices. And in fact, it's more cheaper than groceries and shit this time. It's aye. Speaking of which, tomorrow I'm going to try to see if I can figure that out. I'm going to visit my mama tomorrow. I'm going to ask her, do you want a cart? Because if so, she'll be okay with me getting a little bit myself. Just so I can at least, hold up, till my job situation is figured out. I'll have to ask her about that. Advance, we only have to worry about wars with 2 countries instead of 5. Well, that depends if he's, willing to kind of continue with this whole weird fucking thing that Trump is doing. That's crazy to me. Weed hasn't really gone up anywhere, has it? No. I mean, it was kind of spendy when it first got legalized, but it only dropped in price ever since. And now, at this point, it's pretty much stayed consistent. Every now and then, you can find a good deal occasionally. Like at Dispo I went to, like they used to sell ounces for like $40, and then for a while they had like a bunch of pre-packed ounces that were about like 60, but they haven't had those in a while, which is like makes me sad. Vance is a complete cock who wouldn't threaten Canada or other NATO countries. Well, because he's a little soft belly mush mouth. He's just a stereotypical Republican suit. I mean, I wouldn't expect much from him. I suppose because of that, he would be able to get a lot more done because he would just be a yes man to the Republican Party. But I mean, he does not have the same charisma as Trump does. Like, in fact, honestly, like no one really likes him even within his own party. So I don't even think, even if he was president somehow, he would just literally be a stand-in until the Republicans nominate somebody else. So you don't around you have ecstasy anymore? You ever hear about it? I mean, there's LSD, acid, and like shrooms, but like straight up LSD. I mean, shit. I've only heard, through the grapevine about shit like that. I've only heard stories, tales from another time. But at least when it comes to other psychedelics, definitely can find that around, especially shrooms. I won't really do it one more time. I'm getting older. Nah, I don't want those three. Well, at least around here, that's what's more common. Molly. Well, Molly is definitely a thing around here. I haven't tried that, though. Oh, shit, you're back? Yeah. Sad to come back after playing some rounds of pool at the Wichita and stuff. Their boss that was there tonight was doing the line cook shit, so it was like, I don't want to be bothered doing line cook shit. That's my job now. Like, so I was like, well, if he has spare time, just let him know. I'm just going to have a drink, play some pool. Before I leave, I'll let him know that I have a resume on my email. Just, when he has free time, just let him know about that. And that was pretty much it. So, didn't get a chance to talk to him because of that, but at least hopefully for the grapevine that got put out there. Hopefully. I heard Suck is giving out company themed MAGA hats. What about Boob's Red Mill? On Friday, I'm going to look at their little bakery shop thing, whatever. That's, on the road that I kind of want to look at. That's one of the places I'm going to check out. If they have their own applications, I'll just fill it out right then and there. But I already have one, like, ready to go, in case they don't. So I just got to fill in the rest of the details. I just have it kind of with my generic, information. I just have a few of them with that, and where I go, I'll just fill it up, when I'm there, depending on where I'm at, and just turn it in then. Because that's what I did at the Wichita. Like, I grabbed a bunch of them from my old work at Safeway because they had, like, a fuckload of those, applications. So I just grabbed, like, 5 or 6 of those. Filled them all out. 3 of them with information to places I know I was going to turn them into. And then, the rest of them are just my generic info so far. Boots probably has an online app also. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I know they do, but they have a fuckload of positions, so I'll go over there and turn that in and ask them specifically, like, for, like the bakery shop area and stuff like that, like, what's the, specific titles for that, so I know what to look for when I apply online, for the same kind of shit, all that type of stuff. So then I at least have 2 to 3 different like apps and shit basically in there, and then I can at least follow up from there. So at least it'll be something. But hopefully at least, get, proper progress, by the end of the week. That's all I'm hoping for. Well, I know if it's true, RIP disinformation team's gone out. I like how they're like, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and basically have community notes because obviously that's what works. I mean, it's so fucking ridiculous. It's like, how about both? Have like an actual like fact checking team and have community notes and like and shit. Like there's like you copay a los dos. Like what the fuck? So fucking stupid. I met with Bezos and Musk and him Trump the huge bags of cash. It was even a super cringe photo of the meeting. Yeah. And this is what I was meaning that like media, like mainstream media and social media loves the idea of Trump being back. There is no impetus for, to try to get rid of Trump this time around because he is too much, of a guy that, brings the limelight. He brings traction. He brings news. Like it's just a constant fucking, thing. I mean, of course, media is going to want that fucking shit, 24/7. It's not, unusual or weird and shit, basically. Like, it's a very normal, like, thing for media to, like, go to the if it bleeds, it leads, or controversy leads, kind of shit. And Trump is a walking controversy. So, of course, he's going to, like, have endless amount of attention, just like what happened last, the first 4 years and shit. Ignore your furry, right? Is Sonic X a good show to get into? The Sonic fandom and the furry fandom might overlap, but I am not a Sonic guy. I know he's like a little hedgehog that, goes yeet, and all that shit, collects the coins and goes with Dr. Robotnik and fucks his ass up and shit. But I'm not a Sonic guy. So I don't fucking know. Watch it and figure it out. I mean, you tell me, I guess. You have to be ashamed of who you are. I'm not. I actually found this funny furry meme on like one of the Telegram furry groups I'm part of that literally said like, me and sex in my 20s. Oh, would you like to kind of cuddle and maybe like, hang out or something, like touch each other or something? Meh. Sex in my 30s. All right, here's a list of fucked up shit that I'm into. Give me a list of your fucked up shit. We'll cross-reference stuff and we'll figure it out from there. It's just like no shame, basically. And I'm just like, for me, I'm not even 30 yet, but that's how I am, essentially. It's like, here's a list of my fucked up shit. Cross-reference and go from there. It's like, whatever, Or start off easy, but, hey, here's my list. Here's my list of kinks. Do any of them overlap? I mean, so, I don't know. Like, I mean, there ain't nothing for me to be ashamed of. I'm a quirky little fur fag, fucking Creole weirdo little bean, okay? Like, I know who I am, and I'm not ashamed of it. I don't care. I'm here. I'm queer. I'm here to stay, bitch. Sass. Gotta go fast. Turns out Ignore has some gigantic plushie in his room. Or a gigantic Sonic plushie in his room. I don't have it. Okay, Rip, I do have a little plushie in my room, but it's not a Sonic plushie. Actually, if I had money, I would get the Senor Tomat Pessimist Production original plushie. That's like $39.99 plus shipping and handling. I'm just like, motherfucker, I want that so bad. I want a Senor Tomat in my life. And I'm jealous because I'm like, I don't know how long it's gonna last, and I so badly want one. Senor Tomat, he beckons for thee. The call of the sauce beckons for thee. The call of the rhythm of life, it beckons. I need it. I need it in my life. One of these days, I tell you what. One of these days. What would you do if you woke up with a boiled one plushie in your room? A boiled one? Might need to explain what that is to me. A boiled one? Is this something that's supposed to be scary or freaky? I'm gonna be honest. I got some weird things in my room. So, I mean, would it really be that bad? Because I know that, like, especially with some of my friends, they're just like, what in the hell are you into? I'm just like, shut up. I literally have to be like, shut up. That Christian analog horror we watched a month ago with the red fucked up looking dude. Oh, that guy? Yeah. Isn't that actually a plushie too, anyway? I mean, I don't know. I mean, plush form looks kind of adorable, so I probably wouldn't care. I guess for the record, the one I do have is like this, like 36 something inch, like a big, wolf plushie. And whatever Zukov doesn't want to be a snuggle teddy bear, I use that. Where Zukov squirms out of my arms and he's like, I'm going to the door now, fuck you, dad. I'm just like, no, fine. Roll around. Yeah, I'll hug this then. I just do that because, it's like, I want my little teddy bear bean, but sometimes it doesn't want to be a teddy bear bean. I'm just like, all right, well, fuck you then. A senior Tomat plushie, where? Pessimist Productions, on their shop. I'll link you to like the latest onion nuggets because I can show you. The senior Tomat. I will admit, one of these days, once I get some money again, one of my unnecessary like expenditures are going to literally be a senior Tomat plushie. I don't see it on their site. Okay. You know what? I'm not gonna end stream, but give me a minute. Oh, it's a pillow. Oh, you found it? You found it? Okay, never mind. I was about to go hunt it down, but if you found it, never mind. But yeah. And they have it in two sizes, a smaller and a bigger one. And I want one. I definitely want the bigger one. When I have it, I'll be like, oh, Senor Tomat. Yep, there it is. Yep, that's the link for it. That's hilarious. Dude, I love it. I want one so bad. When I found out that, they made those, I was like, oh. Because they have their signed DVD or Blu-ray for their Las Vegas meetup. But now, I kind of want that. And if it wasn't for my bullshit, with my work and stuff, I also would have been a merch tier patron because merch tier patrons get, random little goodies every so often. Like every month, like they get like a little care package of like a mug or like a tote bag, just random shit like that. I'm just like, what? They get like exclusive shit? It's like, I want exclusive shit. But it's only open like every 3 months. So like you kind of have to like jump on it when they're open. And it's like, and then every time I want to, I'm just like, I got other shit I need to like, save money for. But damn it, if I had just a little bit more, I would do it. It's like, But I'm thinking hopefully after this, maybe I might be able to. We'll see. It's been kind of cool to show off some of the exclusive shit every now and then. Some like DFF posters, shit. Like, I bet if I looked up on eBay, like specifically DFF Friday, I might be able to find some stuff that people are like, yeah, struggling a little bit, need some money. Here's like a poster that I got those exclusive. Yeah. But in time. Also, if I get a Senior Tomat plushie, I'm also going to use that for the most absurd things. Like whenever I'll actually use it as like the speaking pillow. So if like, me and my friends are in deep discussion, I'll be like, all right. We all need to take turns. Senor Tomat shall dictate who speaks, and I'll just like smack him on the head with it and be like, Tomat beckons you to speak. And then just like, you know, after a certain point, yeah, they have to smack the other person with it and be like, Tomat beckons you to speak. Ah, oh shit. Ah! I burnt a hole in the pants. Oh no. I didn't realize I was getting burnt. Sierra Tomat is Kirsty. Oh shit. But, you know, I think that would be really good because I know my dad has like this whole like, you know, talking stick thing that he has, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to have Senor Tomat. It's going to be better too because you have to like, it's like whack a bitch with it. Smells like polyester that burnt now. God damn it. Well, that's the hole. There's a burnt mark and then a tiny little hole. That is very unfortunate. It's not that big, but whatever. Son of a bitch. Goofy little dog. Goofy Doge. I could get him over here with some of this chicken breast I have still left over. Really? Oh, that's surprising. It's a cough. Come here, boy. I kind of hear him. I think he's getting up, stretching a little bit. Zukov! Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Come on. Oh, no, yep, there he goes. He's opening the door. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hello. Yep, you want some? Come here. Slowly but surely making his way. Yeah, hello. Hello, little bean bean. Hello. Hi. Up. You gotta go on the lap. Lap time, buddy. All the way up. Yeah. Oh my god, you lazy little Are you a red? Oh, I love that. I love how he does that. You just a bang bang. Oh, I love how he does that. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. You just a bang bang. Do the little sweet bang bang. Yes, you is. Ow. Look at all that smush. Look at that smush. Look at all that flab on his neck. Look at all that. Look at that. Absurd. All this just fluff. It's just ridiculous. All this fluff and flab. Yes. Yes. Smush. Smush bean. Smushy little refried bean over here. Oh my goodness. Oh, little bean bean. Let those sons of bitches walk right over you. You'll get fired. You'll come on. I shall be a lucky buddy. Everybody use my girl. Oh. Grown boy. Apparently LA's been going for it. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. And as much as it sounds woke, it's a part of it literally is unironically due to like systemic racism, institutional bullshit. Because the LAPD got a nice big fat slush fund, and guess what got defunded because of that? Over millions of dollars. The fire department. So it literally played kind of a direct role, you know, as to one of the main causes as to why like these files have been so fucking rampant, because a lot of these fire departments have been heavily gutted with their funding. At least that's one factor to it. Oh my god, you big stretchy boon! You baby boy. Oh, that face. Yeah. That goofy fucking face, though. Let's get flappity. He is. Who's big fluff? Who's little bean? This little bean bean. Just your little bean bean. He looks fed up with my shit. He's just like, he's like, the fuck, Dad. You so cute, though. You so cute. I like how he just like does not give a fuck about what I do with him. He's like, meh. Unfortunately for the cops, this is just an instance where they cannot be fought with fire, or fire cannot be fought with fire. Yep. And also, a lot of the neighborhoods that are getting fucked up, also funny enough, tend to actually be in the rich neighborhoods that voted for that slush fund for the LAPD. So, I guess like there's a weird melancholy to it, but still, it's fucking wild though. Can I help you? What are we doing here? Two can play that, two can play that game, so. Hollywood Hills is on fire. And like Pasadena and like a few other places, I think. There's like 3 different major fires going on for like the broader LA area. It's like pretty much like the worst disaster that LA has had in its history thus far. So, and that's, hey, careful. And that's considering, the massive earthquake they had back in the early 20th century, in the early 1900s. Like you feel bad, but at the same time you don't. Yeah, melancholy, basically. Melancholy of emotions. Where are those fucking glasses I had go? Those Oakleys. Where do those Oakleys go? Where did those? Good idea to make sure I have those, because that would not be good if I lost those. If you talking smack, then I'ma let my fucking gas talk. Bitch, I'm selling crystal. Always keep a pistol. I got Benjamins while you scraping up nickels. I got the drizzle. You bill like Miss Frizzle. If you talking shit, then I'ma hit you with a missile. Bitch, you broke as fuck, flipping burgers down at Wendy's. Bitch, I'm rocking Gucci with the motherfucking Fendi. You say that you rich, but it's cap, boy, you fake it.
Well, what the hell?
Your yee ass haircut, call you Franklin. Call me Soldier Boy with the way that I crank it. When I go to sleep, bitch, I'm wearing Gucci blanket. That boy, what? Foreign codeine in my sprite. Those were Brian's, so now I'm gonna have to figure out. Oops. Oops. My bitch was probably left in the 70s. I have a weird feeling that's probably what happened now that I think about it. I might have, probably. Shit. I'm kind of backtracking, and now that I think about it, probably did. Oh, you know what? I bet I set them down when I was snagging them nachos. When I think about it, they probably might still be there. Potentially. No one usually goes for those at night. I might have to make it a little emergency one, maybe. That be a possibility. Shit. Also noticing, knowing my dumbass, I probably literally, like, they probably just left him somewhere innocuously around here, or they're over there. But chances are he probably, knowing my guy that works over there, like, he probably, picked him up and set him aside. Worst case scenario, if I don't see him there, I could just ask him for it, if they might have picked it up. So, whatever. It's just not necessarily my glasses to lose. So I'm just like, oh no. Just kind of started wearing them just because, fuck it. Yep, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can't replace them anyway. Besides, I got my own, sunglasses and shit, so worst case scenario, I could just buy another set of, Oakleys for them. And I honestly know some spots, know some places, even online shops too, where, especially when it comes to, sporting goods or, firearm, kind of sporting goods and stuff like that. There's some legit good quality Oakleys that are, firing range, kind of stuff approved, to where, it could take, ricochets or, birdshot, technically, in case something, pops back at you and shit like that, so it doesn't hurt your eyes, even if your face gets a little messed up. So, I mean, I could probably just find a good quality set like that, and you'd definitely be happy, didn't pick a shit with that. So, and either way, it's not like you can't get replacement. Besides, it's the winter right now. Sunglasses aren't really, necessity. Not exactly a necessity right now. Well, goddamn, that felt good. Ooh. Mm. Oh, that felt amazing. Oh, that felt exquisite. Oh, you know what? I just fucking forgot to ask Rip City while he was here about that Lost Mountain Blanc show on the 17th. Because I want. God damn it. I was trying to put a pin on that all damn day. Because I want to ask him about that, you know. Because I know technically he's working, but I'm just like, I got to connect. If I got you a free ticket, would you go kind of thing? Like, forgot to ask him that. Motherfucker. Well, I'll just text him. Now that I remember it now, I'll just hit him up about that later. Damn it, missed my chance. Because that motherfucker needs to have this meme die already. The Imperial guy should be showing up soon. Hopefully the shit gets fixed. I'm definitely hoping that for like my buddy Harley too, because I mean, you know, when me and Brian and him were all hanging out today while I was doing my business, like those two were kind of getting at it, busting balls a little bit about like, you know, some mechanic stuff and shit. And it's like, I'm thinking, you know, hey, you know, Harley, just take the dude's, you know, word and just let him do some shit, because I know one thing that I remember him saying, it's like, well, I don't have anyone to help me and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm sitting there looking at him and I'm looking back at Brian, I'm like, I kind of literally did this. I'm like, I was like, bro, you have a guy literally right here. It's like, I mean, you know, at least in the meantime, he's got all the time in the world. I mean, take advantage of that. Like, for fuck's sake, my guy. It's like, There's definitely been some, I think, you know, some frustrations within the friends a little bit lately. I've noticed. I mean, not really between us three, me, Harley, and Brian and stuff, but, you know, just going broadly. I've noticed there's been a little salts thrown around occasionally. I'm just like, I even found out that even Logan's got some fucking beef with me, apparently. I'm just like, for fucking what, bro? I mean, like, what did I ever do to you? I mean, if anything, honestly, when it comes to your stuff, you're like, if anyone should have beef, even though I don't, should be me, but I don't. Like, I might have my little peeves, but what the fuck ever. I mean, what friend doesn't have at least, you know, a couple peeves, you know, that they have with their friends a little bit? But so what, you know, like, big whoop. You know, it's like, who gives a shit? You know, but like, so I'm just like, what the fuck? Apparently he doesn't want to talk to me or hang out with me for a couple days, from what I've heard from the grapevine. It's like, you can't just say that to my fucking face. You can't, like, just talk to me about this shit. I mean, if it wasn't for Brian, you know, kind of crashing out and wanting to sleep and stuff, you know, we probably would have hung out a little bit, and I would have tried to square things out a little, but it's not that important to me. But still, it's kind of fucking annoying. It's like this weird, like, oh, we're gonna, like, kind of talk to you. I mean, Harley's right with this, especially. Like, this kind of weird talking behind people's backs kind of thing is fucking annoying. Now, I'm not necessarily innocent of it either, but at least I'm not trying to, like, be some shit talker. I'm usually, you know, trying to come from a constructive critique kind of format about it, and I've always been that way. And at least, you know, a lot of my friends get that, you know, because, you know, hey, it's not out of, like, some inherent judgment. It's just like, here's my thoughts about how maybe you can prove this and that, you know, whatever the fuck, you know. But for some, that ain't necessarily the case, and that is fucking annoying. I mean, it's like, goddamn, bro. And I definitely legit low-key got a problem with, like, is, you know, things about, like, women lately. I get that, you know, he wants to kind of, like, be in this, like, kind of free ball and let's kind of fuck kind of vibe right now. I get that. But the way he's going about it is really not, like, to me, it's kind of toxic. And frankly, like, the way he kind of, you know, perceives women right now is very objectifying and kind of gross. It's just like, and way too fucking descriptive about this shit too, to where it's just like, it's damn near borderline objectifying and shit. It's like, bro, one, I don't want to hear it, and two, the way you're even going about it in the first place is kind of gross, you know, outside of the explicit detail. It's like, if, you know, if like these chicks that you so badly want to get laid and have these little fantasies about and shit with, if they heard what you were saying, you know, like not knowing, you know, like, you know, or not really like, you know, quite sure about you quite yet or whatever the fuck, or they're just buddies or something, they would immediately think you were a predatory creep. Just being blunt. I mean, it's like, you gotta like, you know, kind of put it in perspective too a little bit on that one. And plus, like, when it comes to like, you know, the certain social circles, like hanging out, you know, at the Heritage or some shit, you know, the place of pool or something, like, if you're gonna be talking to some people, bring them into the fold so we can play some games, cause, you know, pool or whatever, because that's the initial reason why we go down there in the first place with you. And it's like, but you kind of been blowing it off a lot. And it's like, what the fuck? I mean, that's also kind of annoying. It's like, I get it. There's nothing wrong with having a little sociability and talking to people. I do it too. But I mean, like, I was like, goddamn, like, bring them into the fold a little bit, you know, or some shit. I mean, because at least I try to do that. It's just like, can be a little pill sometimes. But like I said, it's not like a beef. Just peeves. It's just little pet peeves, basically. Whatever, yeah. It's frustrating, but big what? I mean, especially when it comes to Logan, you kind of have to take him in certain doses a little bit. $50 repair guy even shows up. I almost want to ignore him if he does just fuck with him. I mean, honestly, all in all, he'll probably just be like, hey, what's up? Doing the repair. Cal. All right. All right, it's done. Bye. Cal. Chances are that's probably what's going to happen if they show up. So, either way, win-win. Plus, you can ignore him either way and fuck with him still. If anything, it'll probably be better. They probably don't want to be conversational. Unless they're the ones that are wanting to talk with you all the time, then you can fuck with them at that point. Bean dip. Oh, you didn't close the door on yourself this time. Aw. You're so cute. Sweet little boy. Yeah, sweet little bone. Just a sweet little bone, dude. Probably longer since the fan in my bathroom caught fire recently and didn't set off the smoke detectors, which is concerning. Your fan in your bathroom caught on fire? Definitely want that to get looked at. That sounds like a bit of a problem there, buddy. What? Like, what the fuck? Wait, skip the phone. Skip the phone! There we go. There we go. Better. Oh, little bean dip. So cute. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Or I actually sent a little something to me on Discord. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, it wasn't work right. Bread left it onto like, and then it went bzzz, it didn't caught on fire. Oh, that's an electrical wiring problem. There was a bad electrical wiring and shorted out and thus caused a spark and a fire. That's what happened. I guarantee you. Sounds like a motor seized empowering and it just made it hot because it couldn't spin. Yeah, sounds like it. it like, overloaded somewhere and the wiring was probably bad, or the fan seized up. One of the two. Either way, the wiring ended up getting shot and yippee skippy. I know that this house is, electrically has got some problems too, but oh my god, at least, it ain't catching fucking fire. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. At least I ain't got those problems. I guess it's nice to know that I ain't the only place that has really shoddy, horrible fucking wiring. Because I really thought, like, I just had the misfortune of having a fucking shitty, uncle that, like, really fucked up the wiring in this place, but, he was just going by the corporate standard. Apartment maintenance, woo! Yep, gotta love it. Gotta love those fucking robber barons. My excuse is a little bit more shitty in a way, but, hey, when it comes to landlords and, land barons and shit, I mean, that's a whole nother level of shitty. Whole nother level of shitty. I'll tell you what. God damn it, Bobby. Yeah, I'm gonna load up one more taco-roni, smoke it up and all that fun shit. And unlike what I said last stream, I will actually, let this be, the final one until tomorrow at some point. At least, you know what? For the fuck of it, maybe I'll do a stream, cleaning up my fucking leaves and shit. Do some worker man shit. Maybe I'll do that. I haven't done anything like that, honestly, because why not? I'll literally even call it, cleaning the roof stream or something. I'll just have to be careful to make sure that I'm, like, only showing my roof, and that's it, or something. Or maybe have one of my friends on the ground, fucking record me or something. Maybe Brian can, like, be at the bottom or something, and I got, like, a rope attached to me. I know I can find a rope, around over here and attach it to, like, a tree, on, the backyard, and to just, like, make sure, you have that, so if I fall, I could just, like, because I don't want to, like, slip and, like, die and break my neck or something. So, I might honestly do that, because why not? Just for the fuck of it, Go to the Zingna. You keep hearing how the USS Demon infrastructure, right? Well, I'm happy to report that has improved all the way to, drumroll please, a C minus. Woo! Bum 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 bum. USA, oh USA, USA, USA. God, man, I got at least a little bit of beatbox skills. A little bit. Wish I had a little bit more, but I got some basic ones. We are so fucked. I know, right? I know, right? Lovely. And guess what? That C minus is gonna go back to a D. And better yet, a D minus. Woo! Bum, bum, dum, bum, dum, bum, dum. That maniacal laughter is not just because I'm laughing, for the amusement of it all. It's also a maniacal joke or laugh of the existential crisis that our nation is facing. And by ways to go, I mean next 4 years. Shit, probably next decade. Dude, I don't really have that much faith, in America when it comes to this shit. About like I don't know, maybe we can get like, some Bernie Sanders, Tim Walz, Mark Gambo conglomerate in 28, but I mean, I don't know. At that point, you're shooting for fucking the moon. Trying to reach for the stars, but hitting the moon. But not just hitting the moon, but just like literally like creaming into the moon without even trying to hit it. You just like didn't realize it was going to be in trajectory and just like just leave a little crater, on the moon. Just that. D for disasters. I know, right? I mean, at least honestly, I bet the reason why it bumped up like that is because some of these different cities, like from Minneapolis to Portland, Seattle, etc., like there's genuine like infrastructural improvements that have been going on, and I think that's probably the reason why it bumped up a little bit. It's not because like nationally the infrastructure has improved. It's because some of these different cities and and like the counties and the where the cities reside in have actually done some bare minimal of trying to improve the infrastructure in some way. Because at least around here, I notice and could tell that's improved. Some stuff not 100% about, but a lot of it is genuinely very good, especially like, right up here, right, up like right next to, where I live. It's like a lot of that infrastructure is fucking amazing. Beautifies the neighborhood too, on top of it being good, decent infrastructure. So it's like, I mean, all in all, it's good shit. But like, I think that's probably why it's like that. I mean, because if the entire nation at least, did some basic stuff like that, I mean, it would be a C minus to maybe like a B minus, maybe like just a standard B. At best, B plus. I mean, despite maybe some areas of the country still, lagging behind, despite, all right, like, so, I mean, you have to take that into consideration, but at least when it comes to even smaller towns outside these major cities and shit like that, and especially in developing areas, I mean, there's no fucking excuse. Shoot for the moon, missing the stars, and end up in a black hole. Yeah, for real. End up at the center of the galaxy in the fucking massive black hole that just like consumes you and spaghettifies you. Damn. Or just some straight black hole that's just like, drifting in fucking orbit, just in the fucking orbit of the cosmos or some shit. That'd be one hell of a way to go. Low-key, though, I kind of do want to know what it's like to go through a black hole. I might die and spaghettify, but what if, like, you're able to survive it long enough, just to be able to transfer to the fucking other dimensional realm or some shit? What if it leads, to, a totally different universe or something, bro? I mean, it's just like, the fuck would it be like to go for a black hole? Just to drop that out of nowhere. It's like, Interstellar, bro. Interstellar. Nice. And just gonna drop that like little philosophy bomb on you now. Wrap it up. Give myself a little foo-foo. And maybe convince Ryan to do a little housework stream, for the morning or some shit. Because why not? So, anyway, toodaloo, all that. And see you on that next one.